Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 everyone. Yeah, we have to wait for people to come in, just like last time.
Right,
Just,
right, right. No
so
problem.
just waiting really. They coming because they asked all day yesterday while we were on live.
Oh, really? Okay, okay.
Yeah, so they were ready. They honestly reminded me. I didn't forget. I had it on my calendar for today, but
Uh-huh.
I wasn't thinking about it yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, yeah. And welcome, 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 everyone. Thank you for joining us. Can you see the number, Lewis? The number in the corner?
Give me 1 second. Let me.
Okay.
No, I can't. I can't see the
Mm-hmm.
number in the
Okay, you're gonna
corner.
see. Hey, Teresa. Okay. Hey, Sonia. So I clicked so fast. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Chicago. Hello, everyone. We will get started in a moment. And I'll reintroduce the person that is on the screen. We had him before, so he is no stranger to our channel. So I will introduce him once we are done.
Okay. Looks like my glasses have like a shadow in it.
Oh, a glare.
Yeah, I took them
Oh,
off though. I think I'm okay.
yeah, y'all doing okay, Lewis? I forgot
Yeah,
that.
it's been doing pretty good. It snowed on Christmas,
Mm,
but
a lot.
other than that, it was okay. Not
It
too
was
bad.
snowed a lot.
No, not a lot. Just to cover the cars, and there wasn't
Um,
even anything on the ground or anything like that.
oh, Kay went to Lake Tahoe to use her snowboards. They had no snow.
They didn't make any snow for 'em. Sometimes they make snow.
I don't think so. I don't think
Uh,
so because
hmm.
they won the snowboards on the Price is Right, and
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
they took them all the way up and no snow. Hey everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. We will get started in a few moments. And guys, today Carol is in the comments because we have a guest, so she will be in the comments. Got in the comments for us today, so you can speak to her in the comments. But she is here. Oh, you wanted a white Christmas too, Miss Danny? They can keep it. Y'all can keep it. Mm. Okay, we're going to get started. People can join in as we get started. First of all, if this is your first time joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Tangi. Carol is in the comments today, and together we are two chicks with a side hustle. On this channel, we post work at home jobs, side gigs, and side hustles. We also do these lives to help you get started on your work from home journey. If you are new to working from home, if you are not new to working from home, we help you maximize your time and your money. Today, as promised, we have a tax professional on to answer some questions, give you some things about tax changes and things like that for the new year. He was on our channel back in October and we gave you a preview. This is Mr. John Strong. He has been doing taxes. I don't know. I'll let him introduce himself. Go ahead, John.
All right. Yeah, my name is John Strong, and I've been doing taxes for over 20 years. Um, I also have worked with some of the major tax preparers, and I currently work for a major tax preparer during the tax season. So and also I've reviewed some of the 2020 21 updates, And there are some good things, especially if you're a business owner, you may want to keep in mind when approaching your taxes next year.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so before John gets into his PowerPoint or
Mhm.
his slide that he wants to present, we are going to ask questions. If we can answer general, he can answer general questions. Nothing too personal, because we don't want to put anybody's information out there.
Right.
But he will answer general questions, and he will give his information if you want to consult with him further. Just put it in the chat if you want. If he lets you, he'll let you know if he can help you in private, or he needs a little more information. Again, we can only answer general questions. We can't get into anyone's tax files or anything like that today, but we can answer general questions. And later on, John is going to give you some updates on the 2020? Is it 20?
2020, 21.
Okay,
Yeah,
2020.
2020, we're ready for it to go. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we all got our brooms and we're ready to sweep it out of here.
Oh, sweet. I want me one of them big industrial brooms. So, guys, just as always, if you have any questions, like I said, general questions, please put them in the chat. We will put Mr. Strong's information in the chat. So if you need to consult with him further, you may reach out to him personally. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and we will do that for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we will let him do his presentation. John, can you see the questions on the chat?
Let's see. Yeah, I see. Hello. Any advice on a tax program to help learn how to do taxes? Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, so there are some big programs out here that you can learn to they can kind of walk you through doing the taxes. Um, Obviously the biggest one is TurboTax and Tax Cut and so on and so on. If you're not comfortable with doing the taxes, you need somebody who's done taxes before as a preparer, like myself, and I can actually help walk you through your first time or couple of times of doing your taxes. Being that I'll be there for your support, I'm going to help you, empower you. You're going to be the driver, and I'll be basically walking you through how to do your taxes. Um, After we do it one session, trust me, you'll be that much stronger as getting to being self-sufficient on doing your own taxes. All right, and then the
So
next one. Go
basically,
ahead.
he is offering, I'm just trying to, basically, he's offering not only to do your taxes, but educate you on how to do your taxes so you can become your own tax preparer. So, so
Right.
you will be able to do them yourselves. We got another one, Chris.
So Christina Jane.
Hold on, Jasmine Pearls. I have to
Oh,
say
Jazz.
15 or 50. Lois, I'll bet you.
Okay.
She says I have to say 15 or 15.9% of each check if I work a 1099.
Well, that's what we're going to get into, because what you're talking about is the marginal tax rate, right? So we're going to talk about that, and when I do the presentation, and that is true. When you do your 1099, you do want to, set up an IRS account online and then start paying your quarterly taxes. Now, if you're one of those people who kind of plan, and you have, many people have different, like I had a friend of mine who buys real estate, but he's a professional. And the reason why he buys the real estate is because he's trying to offset his taxes. So by him being a professional business owner and also owning so much real estate, he actually don't have to make monthly payments. He actually loses money every year. And the purpose of him losing money every year, it's we got a president who does the same thing, right? So he's losing money in the way of to prevent paying more taxes. You know, and that's the way the tax system is set up.
Okay. Next one, Christina Jane. If doing 1099 contracting position, I knew they were gonna come in fast. Hold on. Look,
Okay.
would you advise one save if getting paid weekly or bi-weekly as far as the I guess the saving money? And you'll get Christina, he'll get into that later as she wants to know what percentage of her income should she save. So you're gonna get
Yeah.
into that
Yeah.
later.
I'll get into that. Yeah. hmm But I tell you what will be a good indicator is how much did you have to pay in taxes last year, right? The past is always a good indicator or a good measuring stick for future because we plan to grow in the future, but at least we know where we started from, and then we know if we paid $10,000 in taxes, then we know we need to make sure we get that $10,000 if you're a 1099 business owner or employee that you want to get that money in during the year. So
The next one, Charticia.
let's see. Okay, is that Grant?
Yeah,
Sartesia Grant?
when would
Okay. All right. So when would they be done with all the mail-in taxes for this year? Now that is the money question, right? Why is it taking the government so long to process taxes? Uh, I don't have that answer, but I do understand your frustration. So what you have to do is, and I know this is going to seem like a task that you have to, uphill journey, but you have to stay on the IRS by writing, giving them a call, requesting for a local person to, because you can request a local person to call you back to answer your questions on the irs.gov site. You just look for a local office and it gives you a number. But that's a very good question. That's a very good question. I do understand the frustration. There are actually even some people who have not received their with that stimulus check yet, and
Mhm.
that's sad. That's very sad.
Yeah. Marvetta, he already answered that. So it was TurboTax, tax cut. What else did you
Yeah,
say? And
yeah. TurboTax, tax cut. You know what? All of the program. What you really need those programs for is for the calculations because, like when I first started, we had to do the taxes longhand,
mhm,
and it that was crazy to do those taxes. And I was only doing it as a W-2 person, with not very many with no dependents. So um so any one of those any one of those tax program you feel comfortable with, obviously you're going to want to make sure you get a program that offers the best support. You don't want to get a program because I know there's some free programs where the support is not there. But I have tested the support with TurboTax, and I know that they do offer pretty good support. And I know I also have worked with a cut before, and I do they and when you come to any problems, they do offer support. Now, if you want premium support, then you're going to have to pay for it, and that's mean you're going to have to get a accountant to help you.
yeah. The next one, Future Doc Quinn.
Okay. If you start a 1099 next year, January 4, can you file it? Oh yeah, okay. That's a good question. All right. So you're gonna start your 1099 next year, but you purchase your equipment this year. Now, when it comes to a business, it's your intent. So if you intend to use this equipment next year, you actually what they call putting that equipment into service on on that day one of your business. And then in that case, then you can start writing off those business expense. And what I'm gonna talk about later is this year, because of the CARES Act, you can actually write off 100% of your first year's business business expense for equipment. So that, I mean, that's big.
Really?
That's really
Oh
big.
my.
Yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah, yeah. If you're
Oh.
starting a business this year, you can write off that first year in
So
1 year.
if I start my business, so if I bought my computer yesterday, I can write
Yeah,
it off
right,
100%.
right. 100%. Now
Mm.
that's the new CARES Act. Yes.
Oh wow. Wow, that's good. They
Yeah,
never
that's right, right.
percent.
There's actually some good things in the CARES Act
Okay.
going forward. Yeah.
Okay. Sonia Smith. Sonia Smith is the next one. This is her first time working from home, and the
hmm
company she works is not based in her state. Where does she file the W-2?
Okay. The company you work for is not in your state.
So
Now,
basically, with
uh,
work from home, you can be
uh,
employed, and
right, right. I understand.
how it goes.
So so
Yeah.
okay, so the comp you if you're a W-2 earner, then the company is going to give you that that W-2. Now, if you're a 1099, they also will send you a W-2. But if you're a 1099 employee and the company does not send you a W-2, it is still your responsibility to track your income and submit that income to be taxed. Because I know some people who have large companies that do, I mean, who have large small businesses who do, like, I got a friend who does a moving service, and those moving services, they just send him a payment. They don't even send him a 1099, and but he still has to file those taxes because they may not send it to him, but guess what? They will send it to the IRS.
Yeah. That's for sure.
hmm Yeah, because if not, they have to pay taxes on your money, right?
Yep. The next one, Antoine. You want to set up a personal.
Um, okay, what is your contact information? Yeah, so what you can do is I'll give it to you in a
I'll
minute
write it
here,
in the
but
chat.
okay. Yeah, you can contact me by email, and then if email doesn't work, we can set up a call. Whatever day and time works for you, set up a call and talk. I am available during the day and sometimes some daytime hours and the evening hours. I understand people work. We're in this new gig economy, right? Many people do multiple things, and I am definitely flexible to that.
We'll give it your. Well, we're gonna get. What's the email?
It's John L. Strong Jr. at gmail.com.
Okay. And we'll put it in the chat again for those of you who didn't get it the first time. So that's
Okay.
his contact information. Um,
And the next one is
it says Ursula.
Ursula. Let's see. Okay. So, okay. Good afternoon. Any suggestions for someone that can also in network marketing?
She's been told to move her business from her social.
Uh, okay. So there are some companies that you mean you need someone to help you set up uh your your uh, your uh, your mar- your marketing
Business.
business. Is that what I'm saying? Like
Ursula, can you elaborate on what
yeah.
you're looking for? I think she's basically wanting to know, John, is
Uh,
to move her business from under her social. I guess, to an EIN? Would
Oh,
that have any
okay,
benefit?
okay. All
Would
right,
that
all right, all right.
benefit?
Yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Because I thought you meant social media and okay, no
Uh,
problem. So now I understand. Now I understand. Yeah. So here's the way to do it. Here's the way to do it. First of all, you contact the IRS. You can do it online, and you get you a EIN number, right? And then you take that EIN number and open up a bank account. Now you can do that. Open that bank account online. You can do it with Capital One. You can do it with any bank. They'll let you open an account. Bank of America, I know for sure, they will let you open an account. Now, if you incorporate, it's even better, right? You can take those. You can go. You can use your incorporation papers and set up a business account. Then the next thing you want to do is open a business credit card, and you can do that with Capital One, which is fairly easy. You can get a Costco membership, and with the Costco membership, there's a Citibank card that you can apply for, and they will actually go off your EIN number when you apply, right? So they would, if they grant you, now they're going to look at your social too, but by you setting up a business, they will report you will report on your EIN number. So you will slowly start building that credit as a on the EI on a, as an EIN number with an EIN number.
and it's more beneficial to you, Ursula, if you are trying to be in business, to go ahead and get that EIN number to working.
Right, right, right.
Yeah. The next question, Christina Jane.
Christina Chang. Okay. Is there a maximum amount of deductions that can be like gas? Oh, that's a good question. I'm actually going to talk about that too. In 2001, no, 2021, I should say. Uh, I have to check my slide, but I'm pretty sure that you're able to write off um, like all of your business expense when it comes to like your home office. And let me go through my slides, and I can answer your question better, Christina, because I think mentioned that in when I gathered my information for today.
Um, Jasmine, I did a job for. Jasmine, are you saying you never did a 1099 for the job? If you don't make over $600, you won't have to file it anyway. So
Right, right.
it's,
So okay, so Jasmine, can you go elaborate a little bit? Are you working for a company, or do you know someone? Because many times, like me, I if I hire my family to do something, I may pay them. Many times they may request a 1099, but if not, I don't even consider it. So are you working for a company? And if you are working for a company, then they should send you a 1099.
Christina Jane, hold on, let's see, what if it's your first 1099 job? You still have to file taxes on it, Christina Jane. If you don't make over $600, then you don't have to. But if that's, I don't know what you're asking. So I'll let John continue. Jan and Ice is next.
Oh yeah, I see that. Are stimulus checks taxable? It depends. It depends. Now, obviously, the grant is not taxable because there's a work payroll protection, and then there's EIFL, economic whatever, and I'll talk about that in my slide.
Okay.
And if you don't, now let's say you have a business and you got that check that's not, oh sorry, they meant stimulus check, meaning
Yeah,
the stimulus
yeah,
check from the government. All right,
yeah.
yeah. So the stimulus check from the government as of now, unless they change the law, is not taxable. But we still haven't, we're still going between administrations, and Congress has not fully made it clear whether or not they're going to, um, as of right now, it's not taxable, but we'll have to wait until everything finalizes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was going a little too deep with the payroll protection.
Yeah. Would I need all my receipts for deductions? I'm assuming that's what he's talking about.
Yes. So, yes, keep all of your receipts for your business. Now, in 2020 and in 21, you do not need to keep when you itemize as a personal on your personal expenses. You don't need the receipts for that when you itemize. But the reason why they're doing that is they increase the standard deductions so much that even if you itemize, you're still going to use the standard deduction. I think I read that only 11% of taxpayers actually have to use the standard deduction. I mean, the itemized deduction. Most people use the standard deduction. And when I present the slides, you'll see the increases.
And we're gonna cut off the questions in a minute, so you can do your slide.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Jasmine. Okay, Jasmine said the company is in another country. So
okay, so you're working for another for a company that's in another country. All right, I understand that. And are you an employee of that company, or are you independent?
I think she's 1099. She's 1099. Lewis, she asked.
Okay.
I think it's from the previous person. So.
Okay. No, I'm working for a company based in Australia. Okay, yeah, no problem. So you'll still have to you still have to report to the taxing authority if your state requires you to file a state tax. Then you will have to file the state tax. But we know for sure you're going to have to file the federal tax. No matter where you make money at in the world, if you're an American citizen, you still have to report your income, even if you made it in other countries. Now, okay. I know I don't want to get into Jeff Bezos don't pay taxes. Well, that's a whole different thing that someone on our level. They do something to make their money jump around and stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question about that. So y'all gonna have to hold on for a second. So if I work for a company that is not, from the United States, and say I made $10,000 with them this year, I made $10,000. Now they don't report my income just like they would an American company. I still have to claim it. It's not free money.
No, it's not free money. There's no such thing. Okay. There's no such thing as free money. Yeah, there's no such thing as free money here.
Okay.
Yeah, you remember that they arrested even there have been some in the news about them arresting the guy who made Benihana, who came up with Benihana. Yeah, they ended up arresting him for tax evasion and drugs and all that. He was actually making money selling drugs in other, through this little channel. He was part of making money through drug sales. Obviously not illegal street sales, but he was making money in however rich people do it, right? So, and turns out that he had to pay taxes on that money.
Wow.
Yeah, that time. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You still have to pay money.
Okay. So
now there is a limit. Like I think the limit is if you make anything above 90,000, I believe, that you make, you have to pay taxes on your money if you live abroad, right? So if you live abroad, you live in Australia and you're doing work in Australia, your first 90,000 or so is not taxable. But if you live in America and your company is in Australia, but you're in America, then you have to report all of your income.
Okay. So if I'm living, say I'm a contract worker over in Saudi Arabia,
Yeah,
my first 90,000 because I live over there is non-taxable. But
non-taxable.
if I make anything, say I make 120,000, they will tax me on the 30,000, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They'll tax you
Okay.
on everything above, and
Okay.
then that's where it start off, and then so you'll be at a marginal tax rate of, you made 120,000, but you may be at a marginal tax rate of somebody at 30,000.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages of working
Okay.
abroad. But you have
You
to
know,
stay out of the country for 200 and some days, or almost 365 days.
okay. Okay. Future if they misplace some of their documentation, um, as far as the receipts and things like that, what would you suggest?
Well, I would suggest you can make notes, because there are times when we do misplace receipts. But if you can track your notes, make a note. You keep a running note. Okay, I lost my receipt for this, but I spent so much for that, and so that would help you in that auditing process if you have reliable notes, right? Notes are still considered receipts.
Okay. Okay, Jan selection. That's the next question.
Jan
So I
selection.
have two businesses.
Uh, do I need a EIN for each? Okay, so if there are two separate businesses, yeah, yes. Now, in that case, yes, you do. But if you have two separate businesses, if you if you're only doing like a small amount of business, then I wouldn't go through the process of having all these multiple EIN numbers. But if you have a haircut salon here, and then you have another haircut salon over, and you like to keep them separate, and you actually have them under a different um, corporation, because many people do that. They may have, like those Starbucks, right? Those Starbucks are owned or incorporated individually, so that's why they meet the small business um, standard, because although Starbucks is a big company, right? But that subsidiary, that company, in that store, I should say, is considered a small business. I hope that's clear enough.
Okay. Um, after we're gonna cut it off after this last question for Alicia from Alicia. So Christina James says she was referring to what you pay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. She was saying she didn't know the cap was about the $600 cap. She said this
Oh,
is her
okay.
first year, so she didn't have anything to reference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's a six. Yeah, exactly. There's 600 cap.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Uh, what about
okay.
Alicia? Did we answer
Yeah,
this one?
answer that one, and then we'll cut it off. Then
Okay. We have
we'll
multiple.
cut it off after Jasmine Pearls, and then
Okay.
that's
Okay. All right. If you have multiple 1099 gigs, okay, but didn't make more than $600, do you still have to file? Now, you don't, if it's under $600. However, if you have multiple gigs and it didn't make over $600 and you don't file, you may miss out on, if you don't file at all, you may miss out on a couple things. That is a tax record, like if you wanted to buy a house in the future or something, or even get a business loan, or in some cases, a business grant. So you will have a record. by not paying, by not filing your taxes, you may not, you will lose out on that part, that benefit. The second benefit is, let's say you have these multiple jobs, you're only making $600. I would still file my taxes because you would actually qualify for earned income credit. If you make, a single person making under, I think $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 or so qualifies for earned income credit. You may be leaving money on the table by not filing your taxes.
Okay. I didn't know that. Now I
Yeah.
know that if you didn't make over $600, you didn't have to file what
No,
I call
you
free
didn't have
money.
to. Right, right,
But,
right. That's true.
we talked about that one time. But I didn't know by not filing that you did miss out on things. So I didn't know that. So my bad, y'all. I learned too. I told him, I was like, that's free money, but I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it that way, but if you're looking to, oh, okay, this is going to be a means of jumping to something else, or let's say because sometimes they come up with these little grants for, if you need, if they'll give $2,500 for marketing. You
Mm-hmm.
have to have a track record, even though you may, and they do it for small businesses. They may give, they have some programs out there. I've seen it before where they have, programs that give you a couple $1,000s, but they still want to see your tax
Okay.
revenue, right?
Okay.
And you
Okay.
don't necessarily have to be making money, but they still want to see a trend, you know.
Okay. Okay. I get it. Okay.
Mhm.
And the last question, and then you can present your slide.
Okay,
When is
and the last one is, when's the tax season in January? What if I only make tax season in January? What if Yeah, so that's a perfect one, Jasmine Pearls. If so you only made 33.45. You may be due a refund, right? So you may be due a refund by not, if you only made, by making such a small amount. But also making a small amount, you may just say, well, I don't have to file because, you would still have to file that. I would still suggest filing your taxes, but you're probably not going to have to pay any taxes on that.
So, John, you can present your slide now.
Okay. All right. Great.
Let
Let
me,
me share my screen here. 1 second. All right. All right. So I'm sharing it now.
okay. Can you see?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
Let me make it bigger. 1 second. Yeah. Okay. It makes more. It looks better, right?
Yeah, that looks better.
Okay. Great. Great. All right. All right. So these are the IRS tax updates for 2021. These are not, obviously not all of them, but I looked through and I said that, hey, these may be, you may find these beneficial. All right. The first thing is, we talked about the marginal tax rate. I think we had a question about that. So as you can see here, um, if you have a tax, you can have a marginal tax rate of 10% if you make under $19,000 or less, if you're married jointly, and if you married single individual, you have a margin rate of 10%. Now, most of us probably fall in that range of, let's see here, of that 20% or so, right? So you're making about $40,000 to $50,000 a year. So you're going to spend about 20%, but those are that's a marginal rate. That's not taken in consideration if you decide to make deductions and open a business. Obviously, business, you got expenses, you can actually bring that rate down even further, right? All right. So let's go to the next slide. All right. All right. The second thing is the standard deduction. I talked about that earlier about how with a standard deduction, it has increased. And if you, I wish I would have listed the standard deductions of last year, but basically they actually increased by 3%. And what they're doing is they're actually increasing in about the rate of inflation. That's how the tax code is turning out. So this year, the marriage filing jointly is 20 over $2,500. Now, so let's say, well, why don't I file a itemized deduction, right? Well, if after you look through all your itemized deductions, like you have a mortgage, interest, and taxes, and other small things, get money to charitable organizations. If it's under $25,000, you're gonna want to go with the standard deduction. You don't even have to itemize because the standard deduction is going to be better for you. And that's one of the good things about the CARES Act, the increase of the standard deduction. The bad thing to do is to do the married filing separately. Now, what I have noticed that when people married filing separately, they think that if they live in apart but they're still married, they're considered separate but married, right? That's not the way it works. If you're living apart and you're living on two different incomes, then you need to be filing a single as a single person, or if you have a qualifying uh, uh, um, dependent, you can file head of household and get that 18,000 standard deduction. Okay. One another good thing about this year in 2021 is that for the itemized deductions, there's no tracking of expenses. Another thing is your state and local taxes. You know how if like here in Illinois we pay state and local taxes. Now if I was paying over $10,000, I wouldn't be able to deduct those state and local taxes from my federal return, right? So another benefit of having the 2021 is increased to $10,000. All right, the next one is the mortgage interest. Now the mortgage interest is limited to 70 limited, so you can't deduct mortgage interest on any houses above 750,000. So they increased that. So if your business turns out well and you're able to grab one of those houses over 750,000, um, keep in mind you're not going to be able to write off all your mortgage interest. All right. And with the rates, the lower rates they have now, uh, I wouldn't doubt if somebody on this call is probably close to buying a $750,000 house. All right. Let's go to the next one here. All right, credits. Now, the maximum earned income credit has increased to 67.28, and that's a little over $100 for an increase, which is good, but it's still you still can only have no more than three qualifying children, right? So if you have more than three qualifying children, I know how some economies, how we have the well, I don't want to talk about that on this call. But anyway, just keep in mind that that is your earn income credit there. All right, and the most children you that will benefit you is three. All right. The next one is the adoption credit has increased to 14 over 14 14 $14,440. And the next thing is the lifetime learning credit. Now, many of us take that credit, um, but it's the limit has increased to 119,000. So if you file married jointly and you're taking some classes and you want to deduct that on your taxes, and your income is 119,000, you'll still be able to take advantage of that lifetime learning credit, right? All right, and and we can answer questions at the end. So I'll go to the next slide here. All right, the next one is the for small businesses. This is very very important slide for everyone on this call here. First of all, the rent in your home for office space, or if you have a retail location, the total cost of rent is fully deductible. Now, this is if you're using the space for business. So if you have a house and obviously you're not using your whole house for business, then you're not able to deduct the full amount of rent. But if you have, um, let's say, like some people who have like these, where they do these cooking up, make cookies and ice cream and things like that. And what they do is they rent time at a professional kitchen to prepare their products. In that case, then your time that you use, the cost of renting that space is fully deductible. Now, and also if you have one of your rooms in your house that you use totally for business, you have a little office. Well, you take the percentage of that room compared to your total house, and you'll be able to deduct that percentage off on your taxes. Okay. All right. And that goes into the next one, which talks about the home office. And right here it's been increased to $5 per square feet, up to 350 feet, 300 feet, right? But many of us it normally use the percentage. And if you have any questions about this later, no problem. Send me an email. I'll be happy to either direct you in the right location, or or help you get your question answered. Okay. Next thing is advertising, fully deductible under 2021. Utilities, based on running your business, fully deductible, right? And that include things like electricity, water, heat, internet, landlines, all fully deductible. Keep in mind, if you, like I said, if you're only using one part of your house for for your business, then your entire utility bill wouldn't be tax deductible. Only a portion that you use for that particular space in your home. All right. Another good one, because many of us like to travel and take classes. Well, maybe not now because of the corona, but in the future, business travel, fully deductible. Fully deductible. That includes flights, hotels, and other transportations. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. That will help on in small businesses. All right. And at the end, I'll cite my sources so you can have it to follow up. One second here. Okay, so business owners in 2021. Now, the standard mileage rate, if some of us may have cars that they use for some part of business, where if you do Uber, or if you're a real estate agent and you have to show people homes and things like that. Well, for business use, you're at 56% per mile. If you're doing it for medical or moving purposes, you're at 16% per mile. Or as a business person, you decide to donate your time uh, for charity, maybe delivering food or something like that, you could deduct 14 cents per mile. All right. Another good thing is I know some people like to incorporate as a C corp. your tax rate goes from 35% down to 21%. But many times, even if you have a C corp, you tend to have when you do your taxes, you can have it where the company doesn't make money, but the money actually passed through to the individual. And if you need more information on that, I'll be happy to help you. This is just to let you know that that tax rate goes from 35 down to 21%. All right. And I mentioned this earlier about first year depreciation deduction is 100%. So the lady that talked about buying a computer this year, but not making use of it as a business until next year, then that expense that for that computer is fully deductible. Now keep in mind the first year is at 100%. Okay. The next thing is we want to talk about I think I got into this earlier about the paycheck protection program, all a part of that Corona Act or the CARES Act. Now the paycheck protection program is fully refundable, right? Now if you get the EIDL loan, only the part is deductible that's not used for paying your employees. And it's many times there are small businesses that have themselves as an employee. So if you use that money um, for yourself, and it's over a 32-week period, then that money will be deducted. I mean, will be not taxable. But if you don't use all that money, and if you don't use all that money for your paying your salaries, then the remainder will be taxable if you decide to keep it, right? And if anyone's been keeping up with the what's going on in Congress with the negotiating of the next stimulus bill, the big corporations were actually trying to get it where they they actually could deduct their loan off their expenses, you know. So they was trying to get it where they can double dip. They can get a loan and then deduct a loan. All right. The next thing I want to bring to mind is the business interest expense deduction increases from 30% to 50%. And the one before that is the Employee Retention Act, and that's if you have a company that got affected by Corona, but they still paid their employees. So they get a credit for still keeping their employees on payroll even during this pandemic. All right. So let's go to the next slide here. All right, and that's it. I do want to let you know my sources I got from Business Daily, News Daily, as well as the IRS. Um, so these are my sources, and feel free to if you need these sources, email me, and I can email you those sources. Um, Also, I do want to if you decide to donate, truly appreciate it. My Cash App is listed there, and if you truly decide to donate, I truly appreciate it. Um, and I think that is all of my presentation. And the last thing is, um, it's one small step for man, one giant step for mankind. Once you decide to go into business, right? You're making that giant leap, right? Is there anything? Okay, so that's it, Tangi. You can take over now.
Okay. John, well, about 10 more minutes for questions. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, we're gonna give y'all 10 more minutes if you have any more questions for Mr. Strong. And then we're gonna end the live after that. So we're gonna give you 10 more minutes and he'll answer any other questions. Don't forget, if you want to have him help you with tax preparation, train you on tax preparation, please reach out to him at John L. Strong Jr. at gmail.com. We will put that in the chat again, John L. Strong Jr. at gmail.com, and he will be able to answer all your tax questions about your personal taxes as well as your business taxes. Also, if you want to learn how to do taxes or maybe get a tax business started, he can help you with that also. So I'm kind of having two things here. If you want your taxes done or if you want to train, he offers that also. So, John, the wordsmith says I get paid through 1099 through Payoneer. So how do I show proof of my check?
Get paid.
Payoneer's not sending, the company doesn't send 1099s. You know, some companies just send the 1099s out. They, you know, you have to basically keep track. So
Yeah.
I'll let you talk about that.
So, all right. So,
I skipped that.
so what you can do is, first of all, you don't have to prove to the IRS you made money. You just have to report that you made money, right? Now, if you're audited, many times they don't audit your income; they audit your expenses, so that you won't have that problem. So what you should do is when you when you do the business, you do the self-employed. You don't have a 1099. No worries. You can just put it in as cash in most tax programs, so you can still report it. Is what I'm trying to tell you, even if you don't get a return 1099.
Yeah. And like you said, you don't have to prove income. You just report income. So if they don't give you a 1099 and you made $700, that's what you will report, the $700.
Exactly.
I skipped one. So when I deduct business expenses, can I get that refunded back?
So when I deduct business expenses, can I? So yeah, okay. I think I understand the question. So the reason why you deduct your business expenses is so you can lower your tax rate. I mean, we talked about the marginal tax rate, right? So what you do is that's why you want to keep track your business expenses and deduct them, because you will be able to get a refund. Now obviously if you don't have enough, if you made $100,000 and you don't have enough expenses to lower it down to where you'll get a refund, then in that case you will not get a refund, but you still get the advantage of lowering your tax rate, right?
Okay. Okay. He said even though he bought the computer in 2020 and he doesn't technically start the job until 2021. I think he wants to know, can he still
Yeah.
write that off?
You can still write that off. You just need to write off the present value of your computer once you put it into service. So if you bought a computer for $800 in January 1 of 2020 and don't decide to put it into service until 2021 in January, then you're going to have a year worth of value lost, right? Because these kind of equipments loses value over a period of time,
Mhm.
and that amount will be determined by you.
Yep. Does earned income credit apply for those with no dependents as well?
Earned income credit. Yes, if you are single, you don't have a dependent, but you make under that threshold, you will still get an earned income credit. Now it's not going to be like someone who has a qualifying child, but you would still get many times a few $100. I mean, sorry, many times it may be able, maybe $1,000 or so. I've seen uh, from the taxes I've done, but it's going to depend on how much you make.
If you have a W-2 or a 1099, do I have to file a separate return for the W-2 wages and a separate return for the 1099 business income?
No, no. So let's say you have the W-2 and 1099. Now, if you have, and it's a sole proprietor, not a corporation. This we're saying sole proprietor. There's a place you will file. If you use TurboTax, you're going to use the self-employed one, or not the business, the home and business software, and you use that software to and you can enter your personal business, your personal income, and then eventually it gets you to add your business income, and it calculates it together. Now, if you have a C corp, let's say me and Tangi has a C corp. Well, we both can't. The C corp has to file a tax return, right? So the C corp has to file a tax return, and then we both have to file a tax return. So if we get money from the C corp, right? At the end, you get a K. It was a K-12, and we both get $100,000. Well, that's $100,000 that goes on. We split on our. I mean, $100,000 each going on our individual tax return.
So no, Beverly, you do not. So John, we do a lot of side hustles where they do a lot of surveys and things like that do generate income, but usually not a lot. It's basically side hustles where you do surveys online, that type of thing. Where do you register that income? Would that be under 1099 or?
Yeah, that would still be under business. It's still, if you're not getting a W-2, it's a business. I don't care if you're cutting slices of watermelon and standing on the street corner and you're making some money. It's still a business. I mean, you still have expenses. You have watermelon expense. You have travel expense. You have expenses, and you'll just make it. You'll file it as a business.
Okay.
Or a self-employed business. Yeah.
Okay. And Karen says 1099 for say Uber, Lyft, Instacart type delivery type service. What if you didn't use your head and keep track of your mileage and minimum gas receipts? Should I scrap that and try to use receipts for car maintenance?
Well, you could do that, right? You could use you can do two things. You can do it based on mileage, right? And you can do it based on your receipts, actual receipts of expenses. The problem is whichever one you decide, you have to use that for the life of that asset. So so yeah, you can even if you forget to track it or whatever, there's still ways to determine how much you drove for Uber, Instacart, or whatever, because you can look at your last year's taxes and saw that my speedometer was 90,000, and now it's 200,000. I'm being facetious, but know what I mean. Then you can come up with how many miles you actually driven. But it's best to keep the receipts, I must say.
Yeah. So we're going to do these last three, John, then we'll let you go.
Okay. No problem.
Earned income credit is money back.
Yeah, earned income credit. What earned income credit is, there's a difference between just a regular credit and an earned income credit, right? So a regular tax credit only helps you reduce your tax liability. Earned income credit is actual money. So that's the difference. So you can have a bunch of tax credits, and if you get your tax liability down to zero, that's it. But that earned income credit, you can get your tax liability down to negative. That means if it's in a negative, they owe you money. But I mean, I mean the government will pay you, you will be due a refund. I should say that.
Okay. When can you start filing 2020 taxes?
Well, the IRS has not started accepting taxes yet. They normally start accepting on the 15th or 16th, and when you can start filing your taxes. But if I was you, they would definitely let you know once you start filing taxes. Once you know you're able to file taxes, when you start seeing the tax commercials, then you know they're
Yeah.
either trying to give you a loan off your taxes, or you can actually file it. I would suggest not to get the loan. I know it's tough, but even if you may have to wait 3 weeks or whatever. But when you look at it over a period of time, you lose so much money on interest when dealing with the loans and the fees. The best way to do it is to get a hold of your taxes, get someone to show you how to do your taxes. All you want to do is be able to do your taxes, right? And then you can grow from there if you decide to. That's somebody like me. I can help you uh, get you to do your taxes.
And I can speak for that because he showed me how to do my taxes. So I can speak for that. He, like I said, he is an educator. He's not just trying to, now if you want him to do your taxes year after year, that's fine. But
Hmm.
he is really about self-empowerment and getting you to be self-sufficient on your own as a
Right.
business owner. So,
Hmm.
and of course, there are more things with taxes. We do the basic taxes. There are so many levels of taxes. Now, if I
Right.
have a question, I'll call him because but he taught me enough that I can self-sustain. But for the tough things, I still do need somebody to hold my hand. So yeah.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
if you do not have a specific office space in your house, can you still deduct the internet?
Well, whatever portion of your house you use for business, yes. If you have like if you have a small corner, I would you definitely want to kind of section it off where visually what section you're using for business. Because if you're doing business in the home, you're going to be using some space. You got to
Yeah,
store things. Yeah.
I think we
Go
want
ahead.
to be clear. It doesn't necessarily have to be a room. No.
No, it doesn't have to be a room. No, it does not. You could be a portion of the kitchen. Hey, you portion that off and says, "Hey, this is where I'm going to do my taxes of
Mhm.
business." Then that part you could write off.
Yeah. So it could be your kitchen table. You know,
Right, right.
it's just where you do your business.
Yeah.
Um, and
So
this,
if it's a what 20 by 7 space, then you only use no, sorry, if it's a 600 square feet and you only use 200 square feet, then only 200 square feet of that is taxable.
and John can explain to you guys, as far as how you determine how many feet you should put on your taxes for your. He can explain all of that to you guys in a one-on-one,
Hmm.
just basically for your own personal tax thing. So if you guys have any questions, if you have anything that needs as far as tax needs, reach out to him. He is very reasonable. He's not trying to gouge anyone. Charges less than the big box tax stores.
Definitely, definitely.
Way less.
Way less. Right, definitely, definitely.
But yes, less than the big box tax stores. And he also gives you personal um, insight. You're not going to him to get your taxes done. He's basically going to get you to understand what it exactly means for you. not for anybody else, but for you. And this is the last question, y'all, because we don't want to use up any more Johnstown, but we've been on here for a while.
No problem. No problem.
Just a general rule of thumb, what do you recommend if doing DoorDash to deduct weekly as far as a percentage amount? So I guess for taxes.
That's a tough one. It depends on how. Let's say, okay, it looks at like this. You can if you want to be on the safe side, and you'll still get money back at the end of the year, you can set aside 20% of whatever you make, and pay 20% of your taxes. You know, pay it to the IRS every quarter. So I mean, that's a safe number, so you won't get the penalty. So if you make $50,000 and don't pay any taxes and you don't have any expenses, they're going to hit you with a penalty because they know you didn't pay along the way. So I guess a good percentage I would start with about 20%, and then based on whatever when you do your taxes and you deduct all your expenses, then you can determine what the amount I need to be taken out every um uh paying to the IRS every quarter, I should say.
Okay. And John, I'm gonna do one more because this is the last one.
Okay.
Um, person just started their business in October of this year. Do you need to file taxes as soon as possible or wait to October 2021?
Yeah. So you started a business this year in October. So that's 2020. 2020 taxes are due in 2021. So if you start in October, so from October to December, if you made money, even if you didn't make money but you still had expenses, it's good not to have make any money yet, but have expenses. That means you have a deduction off your personal income, right? So yeah, you would still have to file your taxes. But if you just started a business and you just got things together and you didn't really take in any money and you didn't really have any expenses, then you could wait. I will wait till I'm ready next year.
Well, again, thank you, John. I really appreciate you coming on, talking to our subscribers and giving them advice. I appreciate it so much. Again, guys, if you want to contact John about your taxes, your personal taxes, again, his email is johnlstrongjr@gmail.com. You can contact him there. I know we had in our last live, we had some people contact you. So guys,
right.
Again, if you need a reputable person to do your taxes, someone who will take and help you along the way and give you the best advice from 20 years of more than 20 years experience, contact Mr. Strong. Again, it is John L. Strong Jr. @gmail.com. If you're looking to have any tax training, you want to be a tax preparer and learn from someone with over 20 years experience, please contact John L. Strong Jr. at johnlstrongjr@gmail.com. Again, thank you, John.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
It's hard for me to call you John, you know that, right?
I understand, yeah.
But you guys contact him. He is a great tax preparer. I know from experience, and he was my teacher. So thank you so much. Y'all make sure y'all contact him, reach out if you did not get your question answered. If you have questions on a personal level, he does business taxes as well as personal taxes, as well as if you have a large business, C Corp, S Corp, anything like that. He is knowledgeable on all of that. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, John, thank you so much. Anytime you want to come back, you're welcome.
All right, no problem. Yeah, we could probably, once the tax season gets started, we can maybe have a brief discussion.
Okay.
I can let you know what I'm seeing and what to look out for.
Okay. Okay, so y'all make sure y'all check Mr. Strong out. Contact him for any of your tax needs. Thank you guys so much for watching us today. Thank you, John, for being here with us. Have a great evening.
You
Goodbye.
too. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.